Gather round, brave viewers, and scaredy cats alike, as we delve into the spine-tingling world of campfire tales that make s'mores seem like a walk in the park. Get ready to roast marshmallows and chill your bones as we explore the art of storytelling that turns kumbaya into "Can I sleep with the lights on?" Axe Murder Hollow by SE Schlosser. Susan and Ned were driving through a wooded, empty section of highway. Lightning flashed, thunder roared, the sky went dark in the torrential downpour. "We'd better stop," said Susan. Ned nodded his head in agreement. He stepped on the brake, and suddenly the car started to slide on the slick pavement. They plunged off the road and slid to a halt at the bottom of an incline. Pale and shaking, Ned quickly turned to check if Susan was all right. When she nodded, Ned relaxed and looked through the rain-soaked windows. "I'm going to see how bad it is," he told Susan, and went out into the storm. She saw his blurry figure in the headlight, walking around the front of the car. A moment later, he jumped in beside her, soaking wet. "The car's not badly damaged, but we're wheel-deep in the mud," he said. "I'm going to have to go for help." Susan swallowed nervously. There would be no quick rescue here. He told her to turn off the headlights and lock the doors until he returned. Axe Murder Hollow. Although Ned hadn't said the name aloud, they both knew what he had been thinking when he told her to lock the car. This was a place where a man had once taken an axe and hacked his wife to death in a jealous rage over an alleged affair. Supposedly, the axe-wielding spirit of the husband continued to haunt this section of the road. Outside the car, Susan heard a shriek, a loud thump, and a strange, gurgling noise, but she couldn't see anything in the darkness. Frightened, she shrank down into her seat. She sat in silence for a while, and then she noticed another sound. Bump, bump, bump. It was a soft sound, like something being blown by the wind. Suddenly, the car was illuminated by a bright light. An official-sounding voice told her to get out of the car. Ned must have found a police officer. Susan unlocked the door and stepped out of the car. As her eyes adjusted to the bright light, she saw it. Hanging by his feet from the tree next to the car was the dead body of Ned. His bloody throat had been cut so deeply that he was nearly decapitated. The wind swung his corpse back and forth so that it thumped against the tree. Bump, bump, bump. Susan screamed and ran toward the voice and the light. As she drew close, she realized the light was not coming from a flashlight. Standing there was the glowing figure of a man with a smile on his face and a large, solid, and definitely real axe in his hands. She backed away from the glowing figure until she bumped into the car. "Playing around when my back was turned," the ghost whispered, stroking the sharp blade of the axe with his fingers. "You've been very naughty." The last thing she saw was the glint of the axe blade in the eerie, incandescent light. The Yellow Ribbon. Long ago, in the heart of the village, lived a reclusive woman named Eliza. She was known for her radiant beauty, but what truly captured the villagers' attention was the yellow ribbon she always wore around her neck. Nobody had ever seen her without it, and it became as much a part of her as her own skin. One day, a charismatic traveler named Samuel arrived in the village. He was captivated by Eliza's beauty and intrigued by the mysterious yellow ribbon. They soon fell in love and were married amidst a cloud of gossip. Whispers grew louder as the villagers wondered why Eliza never removed the ribbon, not even on her wedding night. As the years passed, Samuel's curiosity turned into an obsession. He became consumed by the need to uncover the secret behind the yellow ribbon. His relentless questions and prying eyes only deepened Eliza's apprehension. One stormy night, unable to restrain his curiosity any longer, Samuel confronted Eliza. His voice quivered with impatience as he demanded to know the truth. Eliza's eyes glistened with tears as she hesitated, torn between revealing her secret and protecting her love. Finally, with a heavy heart, Eliza relented. She led Samuel to a hidden chamber in their home, a place she had kept locked for years. Inside, A full-length mirror stood, its glass covered by a dusty veil. Eliza faced the mirror, her fingers trembling as she reached up to undo the yellow ribbon. "Prepare yourself for what you're about to see," she warned, her voice a mixture of sorrow and dread. As the ribbon fell to the floor, Samuel's eyes widened in terror. He gasped at his own reflection, a reflection that was now fading away, becoming translucent like a wisp of smoke. Panic surged through his veins as he realized the truth. Eliza's life was tied to the yellow ribbon, and as the ribbon unraveled, so did her existence. Desperation filled Samuel's heart as he tried to grab the ribbon to tie it back around Eliza's neck, but it was too late. She whispered her final words, a plea for him to remember her, before she vanished completely, leaving only a faint echo of her presence. Broken and haunted, Samuel spent the remainder of his days wandering the village, telling the tale of the yellow ribbon, his face etched with grief. He warned others of the consequences of their insatiable curiosity, of the price he had paid for his obsession. The villagers listened with a mixture of fear and disbelief, but some couldn't shake the nagging feeling that there was truth to the story. They glanced at the women around them, noticing the absence of yellow ribbons, and every time they found themselves tempted by curiosity, they remembered the fate of Samuel and Eliza, a cautionary tale of love, loss, and the dangers of unraveling the unknown. And so, the story of the yellow ribbon endured, passing from generation to generation, as a chilling reminder that some secrets are better left untouched, and some mysteries are best left unsolved. The Wolf Girl of Devil's River. In the heart of the wilderness, where the moon's pale light struggled to pierce the thick canopy of ancient trees, there lay a place known as Devil's River. Its chilling name was well earned, but the legends whispered of a girl who was not entirely human, the Wolf Girl. Long ago, a family had settled near the river's edge, seeking solace in the untouched beauty of the wild. Their daughter, Alara, was a wild spirit, her eyes the color of twilight, and her affinity for the woods was unparalleled. As the years passed, whispers began to spread of strange occurrences and eerie sightings near the river. One moonlit night, a haunting howl echoed through the trees, freezing the blood of those who had heard it. The villagers' fears grew as the howls persisted, and livestock began to disappear without a trace. The villagers believed that the spirit of the Wolf Girl was haunting Devil's River, seeking revenge for some ancient injustice. One daring moonless night, a group of young men decided to venture into the heart of Devil's River to unravel the mystery. Armed with torches and trepidation, they plunged into the inky darkness. The air grew colder, and the rustling leaves seemed to hold secrets of their own. A whisper of wind carried a mournful howl, and their courage wavered, but they pressed on. Deeper into the woods they ventured, their torches casting flickering shadows that danced like specters. Suddenly, the forest fell silent, the very trees seeming to hold their breath. And then, emerging from the shadows, appeared a figure, a girl with eyes like twilight and hair as dark as the deepest night. Her limbs seemed to ripple with sinewy strength, and her feral grace was undeniable. As they stared, frozen in fear, the wolf girl's eyes locked onto them, a mixture of sadness and anger in her gaze. She opened her mouth, and instead of words, a haunting howl emerged, echoing through the forest. Terrified, the men turned to flee, but the path they had taken had vanished. They were trapped, surrounded by the chilling cries that seemed to come from all directions. One by one, they disappeared into the darkness, their screams blending with the howls of the wolf girl. And as the first rays of dawn broke through the trees, the forest fell silent once more, as if nothing had ever happened. As the crackling fire dwindles and our nerves settle, it's clear that campfire tales have woven their eerie enchantment. Remember, Whether it's a ghostly whisper or a twig snap in the night, the scariest story might just be who's hogging all the marshmallows. Keep toasting and toasting, if you dare.